Hello everybody, we're here at RemoteCon with yet another very interesting product demo on remote work tools. Here with us now we have Teambook, a project resource planning software for consulting teams and media agencies. Teambook is a Swiss company aiming to become a one-stop shop service for service delivery automation. They want to make software intuitive, simple and fast, so its users can properly focus on their business. Teambook provides tasks, follow-ups, measures, and it supports the team's development in everyday work. Swiss-based company, their story started in 2012 when, as a growing and successful consulting company, they experienced scheduling difficulties with their staff of over 50 people. They know from experience that team development as well as behavioral changes are not always the easiest. So they onboarded on a mission to provide the necessary support for teams and individuals across the globe in pushing forward their day-to-day work. For our demo here today, we have Guy Wolfensberger, Chief Operating Officer at Teambook. Hello, guys. Nice to have you.
Hi, Alexandra. Thank you very much.
We have encountered actually along the way many products who have started initially as being used internally for the companies and afterwards being open to the public, to the general public. Usually that happens with developers and engineers. It's sometimes more surprising to hear that from consultants doing a software product. How did that happen for you? What was the journey there?
Yeah, so as you briefly mentioned, clearly we were a fast-growing company, and at first you managed to juggle to organize your schedule with a piece of paper, with an Excel sheet, but very quickly it becomes too tough and too dynamic. We were focusing on short time projects, anything between 2 days and 2 weeks, involving 2 to 5 people, and clearly moving very fast. So we need to be very agile, and we thought there was no product on the market. We launched Teambook at that time. So this was step one, and step two was the consulting business grew quite fast and very successful. So clearly we thought, okay, this Teambook baby is very interesting. However, we had less time to really care for it. So we used it for us, and we thought, okay, let's give it to the community. We put it online as an app, and it found out its market by itself. We didn't really push for it for the next 5 years, in fact, and we grew the company, the consulting firm. We sold it then and decided to go back to our initial loss.
Okay, so can you take us a bit through the platform, show us how it works and how it all functions?
Sure. So let me quickly share my screen. So here you have the main Teambook interface, which we call the planner. Here on your left, you will have the name of your resources, your people in your team, and in the column you will have the day of the calendar. So clearly, each cell of this table represents bookings. So the colors will help you to find out which kind of projects your people are working on. And this interface will be used by a key resource in the company, which is either the project manager or the PMO or the planner. Our customers are mainly consulting and/or agencies, so working in let's say in the medium-sized market, so people that tend to have between 10 to 100 consultants. So too many resources to be really tracked on an Excel sheet, and probably not big enough to really have an ERP system in place. So clearly, the way it goes on a very visual view, you will have the opportunity to see holes in plannings. You see typically under my name here, I do have some available time next tomorrow. On the other hand, you will see here a red cross. It's not a Swiss flag, but it also is a kind of reminder from our origin in Switzerland. Switzerland is about timing, it's about precision. And clearly Teambook is about that. So here the planner has the ability to make sure everybody is busy, to make sure everybody's busy with the right skill. We have a system of tags that enables the planner to really try and look for the best resources available within a time frame. So we have the opportunity to view either 2 weeks, which is the usual time frame that our customer are working with, but you may also have a far longer stretched view on 3 months. So here again, being a forward, a future-oriented tool, clearly the further you go in the future, the less booking you will have, and that's absolutely normal. You will see that your people are totally busy over the next few weeks. They may start to have holes a bit later, and this is where it comes now in terms of creating the booking for the planner. So how does it go? So let me go back to our usual 2 weeks view, which is again the one that our people would use. Here, I would say we have a new colleague that joins let's say we have somebody, you see this red one that has a hole next week on Wednesday 24, he's got 3.5 hours available. I would simply go and click on the cell, say indeed for 3.5 hours, for 4 hours, let's make a bit of overtime for that gentleman. I will book this gentleman on an HTML project, and I will just simply save my booking. Now, this is interesting. The system will tell me, oops, this new booking will create overtime. Is it needed? Yes, it is exactly what I want. And indeed, I want to make sure that my friend Red One is busy next week with a booking on that day. Further down the road, we may have something a bit more complex. I will, for example, choose to go on for my colleague Philip. I will make sure he's working every Wednesday on a given project. Let's say I got a web design at a customer called Bicon, and here he would be working 8 hours, but he will not only be working on that Tuesday 30th, but he will be repeating that every week for the next, let's say, 5 weeks. So he will do that for the next 5 weeks, or simply 4 weeks. And automatically the system will create now a recurring booking. You see that arrow circling. Clearly, we use a system of icon that can very quickly and easily tell the planner the granularity, the details of the booking, and some of the information we can have typically would be the fact that the customer is working. The consultant is working on site or not. And that maybe is also a first point regarding remote working. I think our Teambook is a bit special in the sense that not only our company can and does work remote, but we are working with customers whose resources are very often remote workers themselves for their own customers. A typical case would be a web agency working with a number of freelancers around the world, serving a customer based in another country. So basically the workers are remote, the customer's work is remote. In some cases, you may have some good reason to have your customer wanting the person to be on site, and you can show that in the planning.
Oh, okay, perfect.
The fact that typically the booking I'm playing with now is a recurring booking gives me the opportunity to apply these criteria to all the upcoming bookings, or only one.
You mentioned a bit about the clients. What are your average clients, and what type of companies use most your product?
So, funnily enough, as I said, we started from the consulting business. We thought the business would be in consulting. And clearly today, we have more than 50% of our customers that are agencies, big names, but offices of big names agencies. So typically anything between 30 to 50, up to 100 people, in fact. And they tend to run anything between 10 to 100 projects in parallel. So clearly we see it in terms of complexity, a very large number of bookings opportunities. And clearly that is something that a lot of companies have started to work with using Google Sheets or Excel. And clearly, because it's a fast moving environment where you need to move your bookings quite quickly, they realize that they need a dedicated tool.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to walk us a bit through the other maybe tabs, or like what other functionalities?
I'll show you briefly. So maybe one very important message is clearly what you see now is used by the planner, the PMO, the project manager. One information that the managers will want is probably the reporting, where you would see here on a very, very simplified KPI system, the productivity, the utilization percentage. And that is clearly a very important driver that a lot of companies do not use or underestimate, is the capacity of your people to not only to schedule, but to schedule billable hours. Okay. And I think good consulting firms aim for 85 as a minimum, and the great one would go further than that. Clearly, it's the tool here is about forecasting, is about future, is about planning, is about ensuring that people will go get work and raise money. So clearly you want to make sure that the utilization is forward thinking. So you want to make sure that indeed the weeks ahead, your people are busy. So that is clearly an information for management purposes. The other information that is typically interesting is you may see on a project tab where you will have your list of projects. Again, here we want to do it as simple as possible. So we do not want too many information, but we want to be visual, and clearly an information you see here in red is basically the difference between what has been booked for that given project and what has been budgeted. Okay. And clearly when you see red, you think we are probably in trouble. And that's a good example here. It's a project where we already have scheduled more people than we agreed for. So it's probably a project where we may be losing money.
So what we have here are mostly the planning functions and all that. But for projects, you usually need some task management and some other kind of integrations. Do you actually integrate with other platforms and other tools like this?
So clearly here, indeed, our idea was really to focus on what we do good, what we do best. It's planning, it's planning resources on project. And we think it's difficult indeed to task management, into billing, to actual time tracking, and made the choice to really focus on scheduling. However, we know that other people do their part as good as we do ours, and therefore we provide interface, API. We do integrate with main tools in the market using Zapier, using API. We have very strong integration with Bucharest typically. One very important information is we share our calendar, this planner board is shared with consultant using synchronization in the calendar. So clearly every consultant will receive the information into his iOS or Google Calendar automatically synchronized. So there is no reason for these people to go and log on in Teambook. So yes, we are really working on thorough integration, and that's where we think we can make a difference. We can't be good in all aspects, and we focus on a best of breed approach.
Can you say that maybe that's your differentiator from other platforms or other tools that are in the market out there?
So first of all, we are Swiss, which is very unusual.
That's the first differentiator.
It's good to be Swiss in that case because we are about timing and precision, as I mentioned before. So I think that's a good thing. The second thing, and that's very un-Swiss, we are affordable. We have a pricing scheme that is very different from competition. Competition tends to price by user, which is obviously a very good financial model. We think, no, the complexity of the business is in terms of number of projects. And this is also it also reflects the revenue capacity of a company. And therefore, we decided to have a pricing per project, and to make it simple, because we don't like complexity, we offer thresholds. So we got a package from $19 for 10 projects up to $199 for unlimited numbers of projects. So we have 4 different price schemes, but always based on number of projects. So I think that is a very strong differentiator. And the third one is indeed this best of breed approach. We think it's easier for us to go and talk to our complementary products, which do not see as a threat, because we really focus on what we do best. We've seen now a number of competitors trying to do it all, and probably not so well, and they also kind of get in a harder relationship with former partners. So we don't want that.
With the pandemic now and everything, you have actually switched to a fully remote organization. I was somehow assuming it was hybrid, but you said fully remote organization. In all this context, what challenges did you encounter, and how do you see this whole environment evolving? What role do you see your company playing in it?
Yeah, I think we probably will encounter new types of customers, companies that are neither in the consulting or digital marketing area, but companies that are more standards, that may start to think, hey, we have people all around, scattered all around, we don't see them around the coffee machine, and therefore, we need a way to organize their work and not to monitor their work somehow as well, but also tell them, what are we expecting you to do next week, next Tuesday, next Wednesday? We have company events next Friday. We want all of you to be aware. So the bulletin board is gone. And clearly, I think some companies, and again, I don't have a specific industry in mind, I think just companies that were not aware of this need to collaborate on a remote way, they will start to realize, if you don't have a tool, people are maybe lost. We all know about the need for communication, which is crucial in terms of remote working, and obviously that is clearly a challenge. But we also need tools to structure, let's say, the planning of each of the workers of an organization. In that sense, I think there is a future for Teambook to provide help to these new companies. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Guy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We all revere Swiss precision. We've talked about Swiss precision up until now, especially manufacturing products. Now we have the chance to see it in a software product as well. So if you want your projects running like a well-oiled machine, Teambook is the software for you. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and see you at RemoteCon with more infos on remote work. Thank you.
Thank you.